Welcome all. In this lecture, I will discuss about the orthogonality property of characters. In the earlier lecture, we have already discussed about the characters of the representation, and in this particular lecture, the properties, basically the orthogonality properties of the characters will be discussed, and the content is from the textbook Mathematical Methods for Physics and Engineering by Riley, Hobson and Benz. Now, in our earlier lecture, we have discussed the orthogonality theorem. So, this is the mathematical statement of the orthogonality theorem. So, in this particular theorem, if we set j is equal to I and L is equal to k, so that both factors in any particular term in the summation refer to the diagonal elements of the representative matrices, and then sum both sides over I and k. So, we obtain we have said that j is equal to I. So, you see that this has been written as II, and we have also said that k is equal to L. So, it has been written as kk, and similarly in the right hand side you see the Kronecker delta functions. Those are delta ik and delta jl, and here this is delta ik into delta ik and delta lambda mu, which was previously there, and the summation is from I equal to 1 to n lambda and k equal to 1 to n mu. So, these are the basically dimension of the matrices. N lambda and n mu are the dimension of the matrices for the representation lambda and mu respectively. So, you see that this particular product now becomes like this, but we know that d lambda x I, this basically represents the characters for the representation lambda. Similarly, this also represents the characters for the representation mu. So, the left hand side is expressed in terms of the characters. So, these are the product of the characters. If you look at the left hand side, so these are basically the product of the characters, and the right hand side is g by n lambda, but you see that is this is the multiplication of delta ik and delta ik, that is delta I square. Because we have set that is I is equal to k, that is why we have written as delta I square, and the sum is from I is equal to 1 to n lambda. So, ultimately the right side becomes, because we know that delta I is equal to 1. So, ultimately the right side becomes g into delta lambda mu, because sum of 1 from I equal to 1 to n lambda is n lambda. So, n lambda cancels out. So, ultimately the product of the characters becomes g into lambda mu. So, we can say in words, that is the g component vectors formed from the characters of the various irreducible representation of a group are mutually orthogonal. But each one has a squared magnitude, the sum of the squares of its components, because you see the right hand side, this ultimately give you the sum of the squares of its components, and that is equal to the order of the group. If you set suppose lambda is equal to mu, then basically left hand side will be the sum of the square of its components, and that is equal to the order of the group. Now, this particular relation 29.14 can be written as a sum over classes rather than elements. You see, and the summation is for the different elements. So, this particular relation can also be expressed as sum over classes. If Ci denotes the number of elements in a class Ci and Xi any element of Ci. So, number of elements in a particular class is that is capital Ci, the number of elements is small ci, and if xi be any element for the class Ci, then we can write the same relation in this way, that is this is sum over I small ci. then chi lambda xi star chi mu xi is equal to g into lambda mu. So same relation, just we have written the summation in for the classes. Therefore this summation, the summation was for the elements, but this summation is for the classes. Now there is a particular statement about the products of characters for a fixed pair of group elements x1 and x2. When the products are summed over all possible irreducible representation of the group. This is converse to the summation process defined by this particular equation 29.14. So this particular relation is known as a completeness relation, and it states that you see that it also gives the product between the characters, but you carefully note about the sum. This sum is over the representation. So you see it again in equation 29.14. The sum was for the elements. Then we described the sum over classes, and lastly, which is known as the completeness relation, the sum is over the representations. But these are the same thing, that is, if x1 and x2 are the two elements where x1 belongs to conjugacy class C1 and x2 belongs to C2. So if x1 belongs to C1 and x2 belongs to C2, then this particular relation is known as the completeness relation, and the sum is over the different types of irreducible representation. Thus the sum is 0 unless x1 and x2 belong to the same class. So it will give value only when, that is, x1 and x2 belong to the same class, otherwise the right hand side will be 0 as per the this Kronecker delta function. Now this particular rules that will I will now discuss these particular rules corresponding to the character table which we have already discussed. Now suppose let us check the applicability of the equation 29.15. So here the sum is over the classes and we will find the products of the characters. Now you see, suppose we are considering, that is, d lambda is equal to d mu, that is, we are considering the same representation. It may be a1 or a2. Suppose we are considering a1. If you consider a1, you check the relation. Ci means number of elements in the classes. Now if you see the character table, you see that for the class I, the number of character is 1. For the second class, that is for AB, the number of characters is 2, and for the third, the number of elements is 3. So Ci will be 1, 2 and 3 respectively, and the characters are 1, 1 and 1. So as it is the same representation, so the equation 29.15, this means this equation, the left hand side will give us 1 into 1, that is Ci means for the first class number of element is 1, for the second class it is 2, for the third class it is 3. So and the characters are, for all the cases they are 1. So 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1, it is 6. It gives us 6. And if suppose d lambda and d mu is equal to E, then what will happen? The number of elements, that is for the particular classes, are again 1, 2 and 3 respectively, just like the previous cases. It was 1, 2 and 3. Here is also 1, 2 and 3. But if you check the relation very carefully, for a particular representation, if lambda is equal to mu, so ultimately this will give you the product between the characters. For example, suppose for the irreducible representation E, the first character is 2. So multiplication will be 2 into 2, 2 square, minus 1 into minus 1, and then 0 into 0. That is why it has been written in this way, that is 2 squared and then 1, then 0, ultimately it gives 6. Now let us consider two different representation, that is lambda and mu are different. So if lambda and mu are different, then you look at the equation 29.15 again. So if lambda is not equal to mu, then definitely the right side will be 0. So it may be checked. Suppose we are considering different representation, for example A2 and E. So number of elements will be again fixed, that is 1, 2 and 3, but these are the products between the product between the characters for two different representation. That means one from the representation A2 and another from the representation E. So if you consider the characters corresponding to the I, that is first element, so 1 is coming from A2 and 2 is coming from E. Let us check it from the table. So 1 is coming, that is 1 is coming from the A2 representation and 2 is coming from the E representation. So next product will be 1 into minus 1 and then minus 1 into 0. So let us check it again. You see that 1 into 2, then 1 into minus 1 and then minus 1 into 0 is equal to 0. So equation 29.15 holds for this particular character table. Then let us check the applicability of equation 29.16. So if you check the 29.16, you see the sum is over the different irreducible representation, and x1 will be an element from the class C1 and x2 will be the element from the class C2. But if x1 and x2 belongs to the same class, only then we will get the value. If x1 and x2 belongs from the different class, then right side will be 0. So that can be checked. For example, suppose x1 is equal to A and x2 is equal to D, that is they are from the different classes. So if they are from the different classes and these are actually the product of the characters over, and sum is over the representation, sum is over the different irreducible representation. So let us check it. For you see that is the products are 1 into 1, 1 into minus 1, then minus 1 into 0. So how it the left hand side comes, that can be verified from the table. So A is here, that is in this particular class, and D belongs to this class, that is A and D comes from the two different classes, and as the sum is over different representation, so we have to multiply 1 into 1 and then plus 1 into minus 1, then plus minus 1 into 0 in this way. So that we have written actually, but as per the definition the right hand side should be 0, which is expected. Now suppose if x1 is equal to C and x2 is equal to E, that is both of which belongs to class C3, for which C3 is equal to 3. C3 means that is number of elements in the class. Now for this particular example, that is if you consider the products of the characters for the class C3, so this will be like this, that is they are both from the same class. So product between the elements will be 1 into 1, then minus 1 into minus 1, then 0 into 0. So let us check it. So 0 into 0, so this gives us 2, and 2 can be written as 6 by 3. So why we have written 6 by 3? Because this is formula is G by C1. G is 6 and C1 means the number of elements in the class C3 is 3. That is why we have written as 6 by 3, and delta C1 C2, that will be 1. So all the relation holds for this particular character table, and in this particular lecture we have discussed basically about the orthogonality property of the characters, and I hope you have understood my lecture, and for further understanding I request you to go through the textbook Mathematical Methods for Physics and Engineering by Relay, Hobson and Benz, and I thank you all for listening my lecture.